Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Sunday, March 6, 2016, around 5:53 in the morning, Billerica, Massachusetts. It's going to be a sunny day out, about 41 or so, and some news to report. The Washington Capitals beat the Boston Bruins by a score of 2-1 in overtime last night. The Bruins get a point, and they're still in third place in the Atlantic Division. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Boston Celtics by a score of 120-103. And a new Billerica Memorial High School will be built, as the voters of Billerica overwhelmingly, over 86%, voted yes. And that's about it on the news. My first video blog subject of the day is a continuation of the top 67 players in the NHL since 1967. Today is from 20 to 11, getting down to the nitty-gritty. And here they are. Number 20 on this list of the top 67 players in the NHL since 1967, Ron Francis, who played over 20 seasons with the Whalers/Hurricanes, Penguins, and Maple Leafs. He had over 500 career goals. He's second on the all-time assist leader behind Wayne Gretzky. He retired in 2004. First ballot Hockey Hall of Famer in 2007. And number 10's retired by the Hurricanes, and I have his Hurricanes jersey. Number 19 on this list of the greatest NHL players since 1967, Bobby Clarke, who played his entire career with the Philadelphia Flyers. He was the first NHL player from an expansion team to win the Most Valuable Player, the Hart Trophy, in the mid-70s. He scored well over 1,000 career points, and he was an inspiration because many NHL teams were afraid to draft him because he had type 1 diabetes. And he's an icon in Philadelphia. He's still with the Flyers and a president of hockey operations. Number 18 on this list of the greatest NHL player since 1967, Paul Coffey, who was a defenseman for the Oilers, the Penguins, the Canes, the Red Wings, and a few other teams. He was a very good goal scorer. He holds the record for most goals scored by a defenseman with 46. That's amazing. In 1985, he won 3 Norris Trophy, and he was one of the best defensemen in the 80s, and number 7's hanging from the rafters at the Rexall Place, and first ballot Hockey Hall of Famer in 2004. When he retired playing for the Boston Bruins, he had to wear number 74 because 77 was for Ray Bourque. Number 17 on this list of the greatest NHL NHL players since 1967, Dennis Potvin, who played his entire career with the New York Islanders. He won many Norris trophies. He was the captain of the Islanders when they won their 4 straight Stanley Cups in the early 1980s. He was the first NHL defenseman to score 300 career goals and also have 1,000 points. He retired in 1988. And first ballot Hockey Hall of Famer in 1991. Number 5 is hanging from the rafters at the Barclays Center, and he's still involved in hockey as a color man for the Florida Panthers on Fox Sports Florida. Number 16 on this list of the greatest NHL players since 1967, the Flower, Guy Lafleur, a forward for the Montreal Canadiens. He was the Canadiens' best player in the 1970s, won a few Hart trophies, also won a couple of scoring titles. He retired in 1984, over 500 career goals and 1,000 career points. He got inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1988. He made a comeback after going into the Hockey Hall of Fame with the Rangers and the Nordiques. He wasn't the player he was, but he's one of the only few players to ever retire and get inducted into a Hall of Fame and come back. Number 15 on this list of the greatest NHL players since 1967, Mike Bossy, who played his entire 10-year career with the New York Islanders, one of the best pure goal scorers of all time, 572 career goals. He won the Rookie of the Year in 1978. He was on 4 straight Stanley Cup winning teams. And if Mike Bossy did not get injured, if he did not end his career at the age of 30 due to back injuries, Mike Bossy probably would have had 1,000 career NHL goals because he was such a goal scorer. Number 14 on this list of the greatest NHL players since 1967, Ray Bourque, defenseman who played most of his career with the Boston Bruins, ended it with the Colorado Avalanche. 5 times he won the Norris Trophy. One of the best defensemen ever. Holds the record for most goals scored and assists and points by a defenseman. And number 77's hanging from the rafters in Boston Garden, TD Garden, and he was the first ballot Hockey Hall of Famer in 2004. Number 13 on this list of the greatest NHL players since 1967, Alex Ovechkin, captain of the Washington Capitals. He's probably one of the best all-around players in the NHL right now. Probably the best goal scorer. Over 500 career goals. 3 times he won the Hart Trophy. And he could lead the Capitals to the Stanley Cup. We'll wait and see about that. Number 12 on this list of the greatest NHL players since 1967, Dominik Hasek, goaltender who spent most of his career with the Buffalo Sabres. 6 times he won the Vezina Trophy, one of the best goals against average in the 90s. He was a great shutout goaltender. 2 times he was the Hart Trophy for League's Most Valuable Player back-to-back. He retired in 2008. First ballot Hockey Hall of Famer in 2014 because he actually played a few years in Europe, and that includes when you retire from the NHL, and if you play in Europe, your Hockey Hall of Fame eligibility is still doesn't end until you retire playing hockey completely. And number 39's hanging from the rafters at the Buffalo Sabres Arena, whatever they call it now. They have so many names. And 11 on this list to end it right now is Steve Yzerman, who played the entire career with the Detroit Red Wings. He was captain of the Red Wings at the age of 21, and he captained them for 20 years. He won many Stanley Cups, over 600 career goals, over 1,000 career points. He's probably the second best player in Red Wings history behind Gordie Howe. Number 19's hanging from the rafters from Joe Louis Arena, retired in 2006. Now he's the president of hockey operations of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he's might lead the Lightning to the Stanley Cup. And that's about it. Tomorrow will be from number 10 to number 1, and there's no surprise who's going to be the top 1 and 2. I'm not going to tell you. I can't spoil it because I'm not doing spoilers. I used to tell that when I used to work at Hot Inks Data Technology to Sean Lucha. I said, spoilers! And he said, get out! Anyway, I'll be back later on in the day with 2 more video blogs. One will be about Whammy, the all-new Press Your Luck, which was a Game Show Network original in 2002-2003, hosted by Todd Newton. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about WWE Hall of Famer, the late great Big Cat Ernie Ladd, who also played football. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a truly better guy. Molly was blood of WCCO rocks and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart so stunning. She's got nice legs as well. Amy Swansea rocks. Barbara Gibbs of ABC 11 has that sweet Southern accent. Michelle Beadle has nice legs. And in the words of Dr. Thomas Shockey, this action will not be tolerated at BMHS. Bye now. Have a good day.